Good day, Sven the Slayer here once again, and this is a little bit of a disclaimer. So the following episode was actually Season 1, Episode 8, and I had completely filmed it, has partially done editing, and then we had the Halloween special, so that kind of got pushed back to the back burner due to the Halloween special, and then I took my nice long break and completely forgot about it. Started filming episode 1 of season 2, which is public now, of course. And I've also now filmed what will be season 2, episode 3. But I wanted to release this lost episode, episode 8, the lost episode, or it's now going to be season 2, episode 2, the lost episode. So it does contain some out-of-date information, but it was interesting to me. I did some tests in it, playing with the Shipyard. I showed off some of the additions to this station that you didn't get to see otherwise. So that will cover it for this disclaimer. So some of the information is out of date thanks to the cargo update, and everything else is just updates to the station. So hope you enjoy. Good day, Sven the Slayer here once again, and welcome back to Starmade on the Star Squadron server. So, I have to admit, this is actually my second time recording this. I recorded a whole bunch, and then realized I was just going through the motions and never even fired up OBS, so nothing got recorded. Anyway, it's not a big loss. I just did some technical stuff, some boring. It's nothing I cared. It's nothing I'm hurt to lose. So I did do a little bit of Shipyard testing, trying to figure out the blueprint issue that I had last. Yes. So there was one thing I had to do. I have to say I do have footage of me exploring the mall, and I will cut to that now and get back to you when that is over. Now for a tour of me Mall. The upgraded version has much more effective cannon on the front. Missiles the same, point defense is the same. I took off all the missiles, the turrets on the top because they're kind of useless, especially with the new turret system. So now we actually have airlock with cycle time, and automatic gravity, a little nicer looking in here, full cylinder design to hide all the logic. There's quite a bit more logic. You no longer have that annoying button in the center that you have to press. You just press whichever direction you want to go, and if it's unpressurized, that's the vacuum of space, so it's unpressurized. The red light will be on and you can open the outer door, but as soon as you open the door to go in the center, it'll start the pressurization cycle and then turn green, and then that door will open momentarily, and then you can pass through into the ship. So down here is more or less the same, except now it has rail doors, which I like, and this has been updated. So I lost the data anyway. That's obnoxious. So I'll have to, I guess, copy and paste that stuff manually, maybe make a text document or something, but yeah, auto sorting will work fine. That's all that back here, except I have an actual cargo mount there instead of crap. I scrapped my remote. I wanted to remove that. Medbay's been updated. It took me forever to get lighting in here that wasn't just super bright and just overwashed all the Whitehall. You can see the floor and ceilings are kind of a tiled design wherever I could get that tiled in. I'm not in gravity anymore. Core room's pretty much not changed. No data. Yeah, that's annoying. Up here, new living area, stove, little prep table, just a little more color variation, texture variation, because I had to replace a lot of the structure to try and cut down on the weight. That's mostly it. It's just an updated design. It's pretty much the same ship, just a little better. And since a lot of my ships share the same floor as the ceiling, I don't really want to try and do different colors, because then this floor would be the same color as the ceiling down here. It's meant to be gray. It's a metal spaceship. If you want to, this is the production model. If you want to paint it after you buy it, feel free. And that's actually the core room, so that's why that's the harder material. And yeah, that's about it for updates to the mall. That's obnoxious too. That's all changed. Yeah, those were... So, salvage computer is supposed to be what? 1, damage beam 2, damage beam 3, scanners somewhere. I don't know what rail docker that is. I don't know what rail docker that is. I don't know what rail docker that is. They were aligned here in a specific way. That data's all been lost. Wonderful. I don't know what any of these inner ship remotes do. Oh, what a pain in the jump drive. So actually the core beam and the rail dockers should all be on 2, as well as the inner ship remotes, because that's really obnoxious. I have to figure out, relabel all this crap. And the jump drive actually goes to 1. Jump drive on 1. So one of the rail dockers still on 1. Rail docker on 1. There. Nope, that was not the right one. This rail docker. There we go. So we depart. So that's the right airlock, that's the left airlock, and this is the... So yeah. Try and organize them in the bar according to where they are on the ship. And now we can dock. Now one of these is a lockdown, and one of them is an auto compress. That one's auto compress. Okay. So number 5 is auto compress, but we actually have to find it. Which it's actually up here in the floor. Auto compress. Which means this one is lockdown. That's so obnoxious, it really is. So now with the auto compress feature on the airlock, I'll never have to cycle the airlock when changing between the ship. So you see, it's already holds the outer door open when I dock and when anything docks to this. So you can see the... Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that little tour of my updated mall. Anyway, so the problems I had in the blueprint, I was trying to see if that was an issue of transferring from blueprint to design, or if it was just an issue, just a global issue. I took the ship, I loaded up, I deleted it, I spawned in a new one using admin, put it in, deconstructed it, loaded it up, all the information is correct in the ship, and as soon as I build it, it forgets all that. So there's definitely a bug in shipyards right now, which is, you know, it's alpha. You can't really complain too much about it. It's a lot of fun, and you know, it's a very functional alpha already. So yeah, I did also go down to the planet. I didn't show that. That was when I realized I wasn't recording anything. I got back and was like, hey, look, I brought back all my crap from the planet, and it's yeah, it's there. I just have to deconstruct it. So I want to place order and deconstruct without design, and that should dump everything from that. So I think the system might actually be smart enough to look at the chests connected to the shipyard and put items in the shipyard that exactly where they need to go, because you noticed it wasn't putting items into the shipyard first before so the items didn't go into the shipyard and then to the dump chest and then off to be sorted. It seems to just bypass the dump chest and go directly to where they need to be, which is nice. It doesn't seem to work in reverse though. If I build a ship, this will fill up with as many items as I can each pull tick, and then it'll pretty much stall. So while it can construct I don't know how many blocks every tick, it's still limited to building ship based on how many blocks it can fit in here. So the more complicated design, it could be a small ship just using every single block in the game, it could take longer than a huge ship that is very simple in design and doesn't use a lot of materials. So that was something I learned. Yeah, now that I have that all junked, there was one other thing. I wanted to see if I could I actually need to load this guy up. Load. I wanted to see if I had enough crap for a second mall. Since I went down to the planet and got all my materials, I wanted to see if I could actually build a second one of these. Not really much point to it, just to see if I can. And yeah, so I still don't have a very good plan of what I want to do next now that I got the shipyard working. I guess I just have to keep working on the station little bit by little bit and see what I can accomplish. Come on. Yeah, see, it pulls a whole bunch of stuff and then clears it, and then it should be still continuing to construct, but it can't because it hasn't pulled any materials yet. I think it's resource status. It's missing a whole bunch of screens. Medical cabinet, that stuff's shouldn't be too hard to get. It's decorative. Oh yeah, I did notice I have some docking enhancers on there. I don't know why. I must have missed that in the refit, so I'll have to actually go to the original blueprint on my creative world and solve that issue. So yeah, missing the blue hole. Same problem as before. That's because I'm pretty sure all my blue hole is on the capital planet right now. So I'm gonna have to take a trip back there sometimes. Maybe I'll work on the station for a little while and then take a trip over to the capital planet just to give myself a break. I am a little ADD when it comes to building, so I like to jump around a lot. Oh, that time it did dump all the crap into there. So now it should be pulled into the dump chest, and then from the dump chest it'll get pulled into the other materials. So the dump chest is still important. That's good to know. See, now it's all back to where it should be. Yeah, so structural wise, I'm gonna have hangar down here, big enough to dock at least 2 froes. So they'll be my metric on how big the docks here need to be. Still not liking how flat this is, so maybe I'll from here come out a little bit just to give this some more depth to it, and then have the doors for the hangar, and of course I guess maybe if I slide them in, I don't know, I'll have to do something, figure out how to actually open doors big enough to fit the fro in. They're big enough doors, so I definitely want to use rails and not plex doors. I can also go in here and start actually laying out some of the more internal components, just filling in some of the things. I think I kind of do want to have like maintenance areas underneath here, and I don't know where I want more living stuff. It might just be the hangars under here. I am gonna have additional docking ports down at the bottom, some longer arms, just in case there's ships too big to dock to the sides here. They will be able to dock to docking arms down here, maybe have others up top, and I'm going to build an elevator system for that. And yeah, definitely want observation deck up here. I also have to figure out what I want to do defense-wise, because this is going to need some turrets. And I have a lot of space to fill. I might just have maybe it's just I don't want to fill it completely with systems, because it just doesn't seem right. So maybe I'll just have a maintenance tunnel here. Maintenance tunnel is just basically where I have empty space. Definitely will have to, well, I guess, I guess it would kind of make sense for me to have, like, the elevators, as I'm thinking of a two-cart system, so it's just going to have up here and essentially down there, unless I go up further. So I might need a more complex elevator, but I want at least 2 shafts. And originally I was thinking a 2-cart system, so if you're up here and you take the cart down, it'll automatically bring the cart down from the top, so there's always a cart available, which is probably the best way to deal with 2-point elevators, instead of just having, like, go up, call it, have it come down, and then take it. You just jump in and go to whichever cart is already available. Of course, once you have multiple destinations, it becomes a little more complicated. So I have to pretty much decide ahead of time if I want to have just one elevator, say here, and then going up to this deck, and then of course going down here. Yeah, so I guess it will actually have to be a multiple stop elevator, but then again I could use the elevator just to get to from here to the lower docks, and then use simple stairways from here to every other location, because it's not that far, because it's like just from here to down to the hangar, and from here to up to the observation deck and pub. Maybe I definitely should add some more leisurely activities, considering this is a civilian outpost. They definitely need to have something more geared towards comfort than my military structures. So that is the plan. Yeah, so I guess I'll build for a little bit and see what I come up with. Okay, so here's the door I'm thinking of using for this. Instead of making a single or a double door, which would just take a lot of space to stow, I went with a segmented door. And problem with segmented doors is they're a little harder to set up so they move nice, but I think I came up with a really nice solution. So what I did was I have 3 speed controllers, each controlling different door, and they're each set up to run at a different speed, so the doors will, you know, look a little nicer when moving, a little more together, like they're actually retracting. You can also get that same effect by connecting all the doors, like having one door and then have all the other doors connected to that one. Problem with that is you have to have logic on the doors themselves and the rails on the doors themselves, and lots of wireless. It just becomes too complicated. This is a much simpler design, and it gets pretty much the exact same feel just with these rails in the floor. Now, this isn't the final setup. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I will probably be putting all these rails into the ceiling, just because it will look nicer. Right now, it's when open, you just have these big ugly gaps, and in the ceiling, I'm not going to care so much. I can decorate them, make it look a little better, but if they're in the floor, it's a pit, basically. So I'm going to have to move them into the ceiling. But this is a proof of concept. I just wanted to get an idea of if this would work, and it does work quite brilliantly. So I'm really happy with the way this door turned out. So yeah, that'll be it for today's episode. I showed off the mall and a little bit of building here and there, and the station is coming along as promptly as I can. So, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.